Hello, and welcome to Season 2 of Super Pros Bros. I am Player 2, Eli, and with me, as always, is...
Player 1, Ike, and Broba Fett. Did you know that this podcast is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify?
I did not rotate a chip. Are those the same places the good people could?
Like,
Comment?
share?
And subscribe?
I think it is. Also, I think I nearly misread that fucking intro. Jesus. I literally almost stumbled and said player Broba Fett, just fucking assimilate, just fucking Jesus.
This episode brought to you by ChatGPT.
That was gas. Well, this is a rarity, and now I know why we don't do this. We are recording this after both of us got off work on I don't know how hot it is over the year, but it was like 80-something degrees. And
it's not too bad up here. It's like 72 or some
nice
shit.
But yeah, recording this on a weekday after work to pull back the curtain a little bit and expose the science, we usually record this on a very brisk and early
Saturday or Sunday
morning. Why perhaps are we able to and choosing to record on such a time?
Well, because I'm resuming my stay living stag. Our Artemis is still away right now. She is in India somewhere.
Just travel jet setting.
I'm gonna say she is fucking going all over the shop. Usually every day I get kind of a cool update to see where she goes. Kind of neat pictures.
Her being in India was one of the weirdest things because I'm in the same text group as you. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to Sri Lanka. Fuck this place. I'm going to India. It's like, all right.
Yeah, dude, the fucking whiplash I get is kind of wild at times. Because, like, I went to bed and then wake up and she was like, yeah, I'm fucking leaving Sri Lanka. I'm like, it's 6 in the morning. I'm not equipped.
Countries and continents. Like, yeah, she wasn't planning on going to Sri Lanka or India, right?
So she wasn't until like a week before she left.
Oh, okay.
And then she's like, I want to go see brown people. Which, you know what? There's a lot more brown people in Sri Lanka and India than there are in Germany. So,
turns out.
Turns out, yeah. So, in Sri Lanka, she had a very, very shitty experience with a tour guide who tried to, like, rip her off for a ton of money. I mean, ton, quote unquote, but it's enough to be substantial.
Enough to be, fuck you.
Still fucking douchey.
Yeah.
He can go fuck himself.
He doesn't even have the excuse of, well, she's a white lady either, which is the fucking L.
Although I did hear something pretty fucking funny that people said, like, in Sri Lanka, they're like kind of baffled that she like tipped somebody basically, and that's not a common thing there.
No, it's not a common thing anywhere
like,
but here.
And so the explanation is like she got a settlement, and they're like, oh, the white people gave her money. She's just passing it around.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is amazing.
Well, there's another reason that we're not also recording on a weekend this weekend, and that is because
I am going to. I've volunteered.
Going back to class?
Yeah, going back to school. I'm going to go get my my PMP certification, which I've been told I always need to say PMP cert and not just project manager cert, because PMP sounds like pimp.
Getting certified as a pimp.
Exactly. So the idea is I get my project manager certification and I can find a job that lets me move when Hive comes back, because she wants to get the fuck out of Washington. So this is one step closer that direction.
And even if you don't, you would prefer to not leave your house to do your job anyway.
Yes,
so.
most project manager jobs are remote, either 100% or a large chunk. So I would just as soon never have to fucking commute and deal with traffic ever again if that's possible.
I'm just now realizing.
Fuck that.
I'm just now realizing, I wonder if most nudists have, like, work-from-home jobs. It would work. It would make sense. It would, like, work for them.
they also could just compromise and put on clothes when dealing with people and just go back home or to whatever
Fuck
fucking
that.
neighborhood where they could then
I mean,
shed it and walk
if you're
around.
about being nude, like fucking be about it. Commit to the bit.
I mean, okay, there's also something about compromise. Like, I mean, I can't listen. If I walked out downtown just rocking out with my cock out, because I'm like, I'm a fucking proud nudist, I'd be like, you can be proud in jail. Like, you can proudly pay this citation for public indecency.
Well, that's why a lot of nudists, my understanding, maybe not a lot of nudists, but there are like multiple nudist colonies
Yeah,
in like most states. So like, I wonder if like maybe like
I mean,
should
sure,
rectify like the people that
and
live in nudist colonies.
I'm sure there are probably some that are like, I do want to work from home because pants are for suckers. But I'm pretty sure there are some that are like, I still need to pay for a house.
True.
So, you know, they take the L in that regard.
They just look at their clothes with disdain.
They're just like, "Ah, fucking fabric prisons.
So before we get to our main bit, I have almost like no. Wait, hold on. When did we record our last episode? It was like over a week ago, right? It was before I went back to work. I think so, right? I think it was like the 13th.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So I have officially gone back to work. I was
Mazel tov.
sick. Woo! I was sick like the first couple days of like when we were doing like stuff at work that wasn't work. So bummer. Well, actually, literally bummer. The first day they got free breakfast burritos, and I'm sad.
Maximum sage.
Maximum sage. I really want a breakfast burrito now. Unrelated to that, but just another reminder. But went back to work. Found out I no longer have to teach middle school at my job, which was dope. I am just a full-time tutor basically now. That is radical.
Middle schools suck.
Yeah, middle schools are balls. We got given just like more money, not in our hourly, but in like bennies. Like we now have a cell phone plan, or not a cell phone plan. We now have a cell phone monthly allotment for like minutes and stuff like that, up to $100. So I got a new phone and like am back on T-Mobile because I ain't paying for that. So snap that off. Got like a bunch of like little things that are like super duper dope. So yeah, making more money in quotes in like in a non-traditional way.
I was say, listen, if you just get to slash off, you know, paying $150 or $200, whatever, like that is money.
Yeah. Effectively, I'm like saving $50, even though the phone's like covered for $100 because the previous phone plan I had was $50, so I wouldn't have gotten a new one. But which whatever. Still, I got to get a new phone basically on them, which is sick. I get money that I can use towards like therapy and doctor's visits. Sick. It's like a bunch of like little cool added things. I get like more. I get more time off a year.
All right, big W.
Yeah, big paid time off. Yeah, like big dubs.
Big dubs.
Also found out that like I don't think I can financially abuse this yet. Although I would be tempted to in the future, is I turned in a time request off form. I was like, when will I be notified if this is like accepted? And and one of the ladies in accounting is like, oh no, we never don't accept it. I was like, what? And she goes, I mean, you might not have enough time off to get paid, but you will always take however many days off you want. So I was like, what?
That's nice.
So I can just like hand in whatever paperwork and just start buying plane tickets. It's like, all right, that's sick. Slight break there.
Dope.
But yeah, I think that's. I'm trying to think if anything else is going on in my life before we get to the main seg. Nope, not particularly. All right. What are we talking about this week, Brofessa?
All right, this is a bit of an ad hoc episode. We're firing from the hip, keeping in the theme of we're a bit fried, we're a bit toasted. So, we're gonna talk about some hot takes or some odd hills that we'll die on about movies.
For a second, I thought you said hot adjacent. It's like we're talking about pancakes.
Hot cakes. Let's go to Waffle House. Oh boy. Oh mama. All right, get us going, please. You gotta stay on track.
All right. So my first hot take, The Shining. It's too fucking long and masturbatory. If you've watched the movie, there are lawn sequences that just meander. I love Jack Nicholson. I can't remember the name of the director off the top of my head. Why can't I remember the name of the director?
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. Thank you. Brain went completely blank. Love Stanley Kubrick. Movies busted. It's so cool. It's so also fucking needlessly long. There are multiple long takes that do jack shit. I don't know if he was like, fucking, I'm going to show you how long my like cinephile cock is when he was making this movie, but it just goes and does like it. I guess if the vibes are right for you, the vibes are right for you. But for me, I was just like, I just can't, man. Like this is just
I've
holy
never
fuck.
actually seen The Shining, but I've seen the first like 20 minutes. I was bored to fucking tears.
Yeah, it does that plenty more.
Like
there's a scene that has there is a scene later in the movie that is I think close to a 10-minute sequence to lead up to a 5-second bit, and it is just garbage. The
first like 3 minutes are just driving.
Yeah,
and just slow fucking
and they're
names
not
coming at you.
Yeah, like there's some of it that like I think the introduction of the credits is like passable, but then it doesn't stop from there. It just continues to go, and you're like, are you fucking serious? Like something happen. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick did not clearly at multiple points in his career didn't have somebody telling him to like fucking pick this shit up, and it shows. Love you, Stanley. You're a beast, but holy fuck. Yeah, there are points that so you know how you're like when you watch things on YouTube, if you just need to get the meat and the potatoes of it, you'll click like 2 to 3 times speed and either mute it or not pay attention to the dialogue and just like what. Yeah, that's what that movie needs at multiple points. It's a great story, but it's pacing on getting there. It slips into negative first gear a lot.
It just falls into fucking neutral.
Yeah, it's just like fucking. Ugh. All right. Next up.
Well, mine's similar vein of, could God do something? I hate Lost in Translation. It's this critically acclaimed fucking deal, and I fucking hate it. It bores me to a place of insanity. It kind of falls under this umbrella that I'm calling critic baits. I hate them. I hate them so much because they're just like, you don't have to say something with the movie, like you don't have to have some profound message, but you should fucking do something. Like you just follow Bill Murray around as fucking dumb non sequiturs happen around him. It's just like watching a bizarre day in New York or some shit. Like it's such a nothing burger, and somehow people fucking ate that shit up. How? Why? For what reason?
I'll stand opposite you on this one. I don't think this movie slaps by any means. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of fun, but definitely the acclaim it got is kind of bananas. Definitely, it's a lot of cinephiles just like circle jerking each other.
I do agree that my hatred is probably inflamed by like the stellar reviews and critical like appraisal it gets.
It gives a lot of ammo to have itself be hated. Like even without the critical darling that it is, it kind of thinks a lot of itself. Like it's not like a casual day in the life. It definitely gives vibes of like meaning more, which I think is a bit aggressive. So I wouldn't say you're like way out of line, but I would say, you know, I'm wrong in your eyes, and I kind of think it's all right. Something that I don't think is all right though. The movie Atonement can go die in a garbage fire. This movie is so fucking bad. If you think Lost in Translation takes itself like too seriously and thinks too much of itself, Holy fuck, watch
I've
Atonement.
never seen this movie, but I love
It's a
how much you
World
hate
War
it.
II, in quotes, epic that has almost no World War II in it, about two, like, it's a girl, her younger sister, and the older sister's, like, potential love interest. And it's like, it happens in the course of an afternoon, and then you follow them through the rest of their lives in World War II, where nothing happens. You've got this beautiful footage that you kind of pan over for no fucking reason. And the whole entire movie is the little girl wanted to like the older boy who liked her sister, and then he wrote the word cunt in a love letter or some shit. It's fucking dumb, and it takes forever and does nothing but wants you to believe it mattered so badly. It's like a fucking 5-year-old trying to tell you a story and realizing you're bored, and so it keeps trying to up the ante, but it doesn't know how. That's this movie for fucking 2 some odd hours with annoyingly beautiful cinematography of like weird shit. Just fall off a cliff. God. And I think it got Oscars or Oscar nods. Blah.
But it's got James McAvoy.
It does. Just being so I don't care. It's just, he's so, the whole movie is so milquetoast, thinking it's fucking like the Grand Canyon. I don't like.
Also, it's just over 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 3 minutes. I had to
felt
check
like,
the runtime.
It felt like 9 hours and 7. All right, I don't know what to tell you.
All right. I gotta. Rocky, we gotta talk.
Yeah,
Rocky,
what is it?
Okay. Rocky's fight stops.
Why should it stop? What are you talking about?
Way before fucking round 8 or whatever.
No, I go the whole 9.
No, it's 10. It's 10 rounds.
Oh, brain damage, I'm sorry.
Yeah, brain damage. Like, he gets knocked down and abused, and at several points in the fight, he is not defending himself. He's just getting hit in the head. Refs, stop that. Like, that is actually a reason to stop a fight, is if you are no longer actively defending yourself. Because they don't want to reduce someone to a vegetable, ideally. Like, they don't need to turn you into a fucking zucchini.
Hey man, this was like the 80s. Maybe they needed more vegetables back then.
I guess. Like, and they just, if you're going under the supposition that, like, he's fighting one of the best boxers of all time, he's not fucking standing in there like that. Like, nobody's jaw is that iron that you could just take it to the fucking chin that much. Like, that he's got a brain hemorrhage. He's like, Rocky is dead. He's not surviving that fight. Like, he's gonna go home and have the biggest subdural hematoma ever. Like, he's gonna go home and keel over. Like, his face would be so fucking bruised and distorted. Like, oh my god, I can't watch. There's so many boxing films that commit that cardinal sin, and Rocky is just the worst at it. Where it's like, they do not understand the fucking punishment that comes with just eating hits to the mouth. Like, Jesus Christ. As someone who has had his jaw fucking dislocated, nah, you would look like a train wreck. Like,
I mean, to be fair, he couldn't form sentences, but that also happened bore he started fighting, so I'm not sure.
Listen, he couldn't do that sober in his house. Like, for fuck's sake.
It's my goldfish. All right.
Yeah, sorry, Sylvester, but come on, my guy.
Well, while you go feed your goldfish, I'm going to talk about another British film, Love Actually. So, I'm not much one for Christmas movies or love movies. But like, fuck me. It's not the multiplication of those two being together. It's the, like, incineration of those two together. Love Actually is, I think, the worst movie I've ever seen. You've got something like 10 stories going on simultaneously that I'm supposed to give a fuck about. Already a hard sell. Then you've got these romances that have no creative like jumping off point. You just kind of like run into them, and they just don't have any fiber to hold each other together. And then some of them are just actually heinous. So there is a love story between Edgy Chiwetel, I can't say his first name for the life of me. Ejiofor, uh, Keira Knightley, and the guy that plays Rick Grimes like a decade later in The Living Dead, or The Walking Dead, wherein Keira Knightley gets married to Ejiofor. Rick Grimes is the best man. Sorry, I don't know. Lincoln? Andrew Lincoln is the best man. And, like, you think they're tight. And then after the wedding, he goes around and hits on his best, like, his boy's new wife at Christmas. And this, like, they don't, like, then run away together. It's just this awkward, like, tee-hee, oh, you're cute. And then she goes back in with her husband, like, what the fuck? There's a marriage between some, I don't know, some British twat and, like, a housekeeper that he doesn't know shit about her. He just thinks she's kind of cute. So he learns the language and she also learns the language. And he follows her to her home country to find her. Like, you haven't had a conversation yet. You know nothing about each other. What the like, you fell in a lake together once, didn't do shit, and oh no, we're in love. Fuck you. There's, oh gosh, I can't remember her name. She, like, tries to fall in love the whole entire movie. Another storyline. She falls in love with this guy at work, finally finds the free time, and you find out she can't be with him or any man because she's got to take care of her brother with a disability. In a fucking romance movie, that is the end of her storyline, is she cannot find love because she has to take care of her, like, brother with a disability. Are you fucking kidding me? It's just over and over. Like, it's somewhere between a horror movie for people with sane minds or a horror movie for people that love romance movies, and I can't tell which. Either way, misbilled and just mismade. Fuck you, actually. Before I have a hematoma, please take it away.
my man, go walk it off. All right. I have to say this in light of Secret Invasion being dog shit. Because that wounds me, because I've read Secret Invasion. It's one of the few I haven't read a ton of comics. I like looking into them. I've actually read Secret Invasion because fucking Alex, our cousin, had it when I was, like, randomly spending one night at his parents' house. Weird happenstance, but I read Secret Invasion. It's fucking awesome. It's so cool, and they did it so bad.
Yeah,
like it's not even like. Not only did they do it bad, they didn't even do, like, a good reinterpretation. Like, they just did it worse, and then did all the terrible like. They made Nick Fury old and wizened and fucking depressed and pathetic. Who wants to see that? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like,
get some help.
Get some help. Stop. Get some help. And it leads to this kind of trend, like, Marvel movies fucking banged originally.
Oh, like, yeah. Like the original, like, dozen or whatever.
Yeah, like the original bunch. Fucking bang. Minus Thor 2. We don't talk about that.
Thor 2, I think you can make an argument for, like, either Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3, depending how your brain works.
Sure. They weren't like, the strongest, but they weren't terrible.
No, they weren't terrible. Like, Captain America 1, 2, busted. Civil War, busted.
Yep.
Hulk, busted. You know, like, the bangs keep coming.
Yeah, like, it fucking banged. They had a feeling of fucking notoriety and importance to them. Like, they were really, really, really well done. And they didn't feel cheap. And you felt this constant communal building. And then Thanos and fucking Capstone. Boom. I hate time travel. I hate that they did it at the end, I'll be honest. The movie still fucking banged. It was a great conclusion. Boom. What the fuck are we doing? what are we doing at this point?
Gotta make more money.
Like, there's a couple I kind of understand. You can kind of forgive, like the Spider-Man. Okay. It's very much in the wake of the void left by Tony Stark. That one actually makes sense.
I get Spider-Man. I honestly, I'm gonna get some flack for this. I get fucking She-Hulk. It's a fun, goofy romp for a post, oh yeah, we know mutants exist world.
Sure. If it didn't suck, I'd be okay with it. But it sucks, and it did the cardinal sin, in my opinion, of insulting its audience.
It insulted its audience?
I'm sorry, not it didn't insult its audience. It like insulted its. It just ragged on itself. Like her thing of going aggressively meta. Kill yourself. Like, maybe too harsh. I don't know.
Back on target.
So it just I feel like Marvel needed to fucking calm the fuck down after Thanos, and if they wanted to keep fucking milk the money machine, have a new goal. Like,
yeah.
Very quickly.
Create a new arc.
Like, yeah, very quickly, very clearly, leave the fucking breadcrumbs again. Show a new villain. That was...
Show us Galactus's fingernail.
Something, like anything. The reason that people got so invested after you done the introductory movies was because you fucking teased Thanos. Like, the teasers, the old after the credits shit that Marvel fucking revolutionized movie-going for, that shit, where it used to just be our crazy father who didn't leave the movie theater until the fucking credits were done rolling.
I gotta see who was the producer's best boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
I need to see who approved the music. No, you don't, father. We can Google it at home. You have a computer in your pocket. Yeah, like, they changed that so everybody's crazy like our fucking father. And they I feel like they fucking missed the boat and they forgot how they did that. And so now that they have all these characters introduced, you need to introduce a new big bad. And someone fucking dropped the script and forgot. Like, God. So now it's just, it feels like just a bunch of people bumbling around like fucking jackasses, accomplishing not much and just oversaturating and devaluing your IP. I can't, like, someone did a breakdown on the hours of content that have been produced for Marvel. It's wild.
Yeah, it's boggling.
It's fucking wild. Like, in like the
it's gonna put a later show on this list to shame for how much you need to just watch.
Yeah, it's just, oh my god. It's like, I think in like the last 2 years is like more, in like the last like 2 or 3 years for like phase 3 or whatever, is more than like all of phase 1 and 2 combined.
Yeah,
it's
and
crazy.
like a fifth the time or something.
Yeah, it's wild how much shit they put. It's like, just stop.
It went from like somebody throwing the opening pitch to somebody taking a t-shirt gun to the crowd.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you like that, huh?
It's
like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's so oversaturated and with no clear direction it's going anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
Which sucks, because I was so invested at the start.
Something that I wasn't invested in that can go fucking die. Not really, but maybe.
Too far.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
Listen,
Look, listen. Fuck Mark Wahlberg. He doesn't deserve to be in anything. The guy is good at nothing. He is the 5th pick in any category, and combined even lower. The only time you kind of want him is if you're shooting a movie in Boston and you need somebody to be topless. Then, because he goes and gets a Brazilian on the daily, you get him. If they're wearing a shirt, he's still 6th string. The guy talks like he's got a lump of coal in his mouth, acts like he got a lump of coal up his ass, and should get paid just as much. He makes bad burgers, bad movies, and fuck him for shitting on Eminem the first time he went on fucking MTV.
Wait, what did he say about Eminem?
So Eminem and him both come from the same background.
Okay.
You know, Mark Wahlberg was R&B singer, fine for when he was. I wasn't a fan of him, but I'm sure people were back then.
Sure.
And he comes on promoting some movie, trying to be hard because he's fucking Marky Mark and doesn't want you to remember they had a funky bunch.
Sure.
And next to him, because it was MTV with I'm trying to remember, was it Carson Daly? Is that who he was like? I think it's Carson Daly. And he comes on, and Eminem is promoting, like, this is early in Eminem's career. It's like second or third album. I think it's actually, maybe it's first or second. And he's like, you know, hey, Em, he goes, kind of want to be like this guy. You know, instead of having a moment of, hey, we were both musicians, that's cool, you're big, I was big, shake hands. And he just kind of gives him this look of derision and then basically tells him to stick with his day job. It's like, fuck you. You're not, like, an amazing actor, and you weren't even a good musician. Eat dicks. Like, M's better at both things than you are. Like, M's been in, like, 2 movies, and he's still better than you. Shut up. The only time you need to be there is to say, ba 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 ba, like JF fucking K. Maybe go fucking take a topless car ride in Dallas, you fucking pretentious weasel.
Did he like fuck your girlfriend? Like what?
I mean,
what happened?
If I ever had one, I'm sure he could. The guy looks like he lays pipe. Looks like that's all he might do.
Holy shit! I didn't like him. Jesus Christ! I wasn't ready. Just fucking pull out all the stops. Fuck that man in particular. Woo! Okay.
Next.
All right. I hate soap operas. They're dumb. In general, I think they're stupid. And the most egregious offender is the fucking Young and the Restless. They're not young anymore.
The only reason they're restless is because they haven't been buried.
Yeah. Like, okay, I had to look. It's been going 50 years! Bruh! Like, okay, listen, there's a fucking running jab in like anime, like the anime scene that One Piece needs to chill the fuck out because it has like 1,000 episodes or some shit.
It had 1,000 episodes when the creator said it's halfway through.
Oh my god. I want to know. So I don't know when it started. So presumably started. It started in 1999. It's been going for a long fucking time.
We're now talking about One Piece for the
I'm
record.
talking about One Piece. My point is, this has been going twice as long. It's still actively going.
My favorite part is there's somebody that's been on the show for 43 years. He has done 4,000 episodes.
I mean,
The guy doesn't leave set. His life is the set.
I would say, like, at what point is it just a reality show for that man? Like, god damn. It's just like, things are good because they end. Like, all good things must come to an end. Like, the reason Breaking Bad is going to go down is gone down in history as one of the best shows ever made is because it fucking ends. Like, let it die. You can kind of get away with it with, like, cartoons because they're self-contained. The Young and the Restless is not. No soap opera is. They don't have self-contained episodes. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's just one it's like following a lineage.
Yeah, it's like. I argue with the title at this point because it's just ironic. No one on the original cast is young anymore.
The old and should be arrested. Like...
Yeah, the old and quaking. I don't know. Jesus.
So my counterpoint to you on this one, we are both fans of comic books and stuff like that. How do you remedy that versus comic books where, you know, certain storylines have gone like over decades? Obviously, you know, there are different timelines and stuff like that, but there are some that go for like ever. They've gone on for a very long time.
That's true, and that's fair. To that, I would kind of say that there's a little more finagling, and there's a lot of revision you can do. And so, like, one of the big things that'll happen is, like, new artists come in. And so, I'm not going to say that all the canon or whatever changes, but a lot of the interpretation for characters change. And so, a lot of how a character functions and looks and acts and whatnot is directed by the artist. So, I think to a degree, it gets a fresh coat of paint every now and again. I'd also argue there's just so much more shit that can happen that is compelling and interesting. Like, I realize that's incredibly subjective of me. But yes, I do.
Don't think,
to answer that question you're about to ask.
The Quaking are going to fight a galactic superpower.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and like, and there's also, like you said, there's also all kinds of crazy spin-off shit.
Yeah.
Like, so,
that's valid.
And I think that people who argue that the comic books have gone on too long, or like some storylines, like Spider-Man's been going forever, like maybe it should end. Like, okay, maybe, but it's
maybe you should graduate high school.
Yeah, maybe. Or like, I mean, but to that I would also point out there are like comics of Peter Parker as an adult, and then you like things like Miles Morales and shit.
Yeah.
So there are like reimaginings and passing the torch. Like that shit does exist. It does happen. So
yeah, no, for sure. Things that also sadly exist, but I wish they didn't. 80s movies. Let's talk about them. I'm mostly talking about movies of the kinship of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and the people that are like, they're classics. No, they're fucking not. They're just mildly old movies that you remember liking as a kid. You haven't watched them recently, and if you did, other than nostalgia, all you might feel is mediocrity.
Yeah, they don't hold up as well as you want them
They don't hold up, and they're just not, like, even the storyline is like, wait, really? Like, I mean, I know we're going to look back on...
Revenge of the Nerds has some very questionable shit, for example.
Oh, some? Dude, all those guys are going to prison.
Some rape. Some casual rape, you know.
Rape, assault, rape and assault. Like, wow, they're going for it. Like, so much of 80s movies is built off these, like, literally just nerds writing that we can get away with stuff, or isn't it cool? If you watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it's like watching an aggressive 80s version of the, like, teenage equivalent of The Office. You've got good-looking people doing douchey shit and getting away with it because vibes? Really? Like, it's just, like, so much shit. Granted, the villain in Ferris Bueller's Day Off is also a moron and a loser, but, like, Jesus, the hero's not really a hero if he was compared to anybody but that. He's only a hero based on circumstance. He's just a lesser of two evils. The guy gets his, like, friend to steal his car out from his house and, you know, ruins it and does all this shit. It's like, how are you the good guy? Like, what?
We're rooting for you?
Why? Because you smile good? Like, what? That's so much of the 80s movies is that, like, mild charisma and that, like, ding, smile. That's all it is. If you watch those movies, they have almost no fabric of care, compassion, intellect, charisma. Fuck that. It's just like, well, if I smile good, I can get away with murder and rape. Ding! It's like, thanks, 80s. Like, have you listened to the way, like, the things they talk about in Grease? That might have been 70s, but it plays. It's things that shouldn't play.
All right. Neo Genesis Evangelion it's a show.
Technically speaking.
I like some things about it.
The intro,
I don't like the show because I hate the main character. Shinji, and there's a lot of people who make the argument like, oh, Shinji is a kid and he's in this crazy situation.
He's
like,
a stand-in for the audience.
Yeah, but like, that's fair. Can you stop having him screaming all the time? Can you make?
But how else is the audience supposed to know how he's feeling?
Can you make him like I even understand his crazy motive. Like, actually, no, I don't. I don't understand some of his fucking crazy, weird motivations, like him strangling somebody and jerking off on her corpse. No, I don't understand that one. Yes, that actually happens. Yes.
For those of you that were hoping my co-host was being hyperbolic.
Yeah, no, I'm not. That's literal. That happens towards the end of the show because I guess he's just a weird kid. No, fuck you.
He's misunderstood.
Yeah, it's just fucking Shinji's batshit bananas bonkers crazy and not interesting. He's not enjoyable to follow over the shoulder of. He's just annoying. Like, I understand that you don't want him to be some fucking ubermensch who is aggressively capable and all this shit. And, like, he's supposed to be a kid. He's supposed to be naive and struggle. Fuck you. You can make it much less miserable for your audience. Like, it's just, He sucks. It's just long and short of it. He fucking sucks, and it makes the show unwatchable for me. Which is a shame, because I like the art style. I love fucking tokusatsu shit. I love giant mechs. Like, I'm all about so much of the shit happening. I can't fucking struggle through it, because it is unwatchable, because that screaming shithead loser.
Speaking of screaming shithead losers, Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Oh my.
Star Wars wins. Lightsabers. Checkmate. The end. Next. I am not kidding. There's no more to that. Lightsabers are so much fucking better than whatever the fuck they got right. Like what, a batleth or whatever? Fuck you. It's a lightsaber. I don't care how much smarter your show is, how much it delves into humanity. Fuck you. Lightsabers win. The end. Moving on.
Okay. Lord of the Rings is too wordy. Hard transitions.
Pure vitriol too. Lord of the Rings has too many letters.
This is too many words. This is too many pages. Which there's a twinge of irony for me saying that after I've been reading shit like Way of Kings, and all of Sanderson's books. You know, all right, fair. He is also too wordy, I'd argue.
He's too wordy, but he gets the action rolling, right? Like
he's too wordy, but he does a lot of shit. Like, he goes a lot of places, and he does a lot of character, like, very involved character interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking J.R. Tolkien, he needs you to see the trees.
Every leaf, every branch must leaf. Be... Yeah. He didn't want any fucking stagehand or fucking, set designer to ever question what it was supposed to look like.
No, because you would know in explicit detail. Because, like, the truth is,
it's not a book. It's just a
fucking happens.
Just a Bible for the show.
Yeah, like there's. I mean, realistically, there's not a lot that fucking happens. Like, the books are pretty fucking, like, I'm not gonna say they're boring. They're not bad or boring.
No,
but
they're dope books. We've both read them for a reason.
Like, but my God, you could have saved 20% of the pages. Like, it's just so much longer than it needs to be for seemingly no gain. Like, he just loves describing buildings and, like, what people are wearing.
Lineage is also. He loves to let you know who is the son of who is the son of who is the son.
Yeah, I swear to Christ, the drove me.
He got off on the book of fucking. What's the book in the Bible where it's just lineages?
There's a couple, but like
Deuteronomy, is that the one I'm thinking of?
Probably Deuteronomy or Numbers.
Numbers, no, Numbers is what I'm thinking of. He read. J.R.R. Tolkien totally read Numbers. Was like, oh yeah, I'm just like,
I can do this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else can people do?
Princess Mononoke. I know a lot of you pulled back. It's great. All of you that liked it out there, including me, but especially you, because I'm running this podcast, so fuck you. Especially you got the wrong message. The movie is about, it's not about love. It's not about humanity. It's about natural conservatism. It's about taking care of the planet. It's about environmentalism. And all you fucks out there that are like, no, Princess Mononoke is my favorite. You're all wearing shirts or have posters. things that take a toll on the environment. Let that sink in for a little. You fucking Muppets. So early 2000s movies, am I right?
Yeah, fuck Johnny Darko. This is another one where, like, it's not as bad as I think it is, but it just got sold to me like it was the fucking greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it's the hype.
Yeah, I'm just like, this isn't good. This is dumb. This is weird. This feels like two movies trying to exist at the same time. It's bizarre.
And without the plot of either of them.
Yeah, like, and I'd argue that just Donnie Darko going to school and being a fucking confrontational dickhead teenager is substantially more interesting than the weird fucking supernatural bunny suit black hole bullshit that goes on in the off time. Like, also, fun fact, the original pitch for Donnie Darko was a crazy take on the movie Holes.
Was it actually from the movie Holes?
No.
Or from the book Holes?
No. So, like, the original pitch for the movie Holes, it got morphed into Donnie Darko later, but it was like this fucking absolutely bonkers post-apocalyptic thing.
What? Fuck.
It's so wild. It's the weirdest shit I learned about. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
So, FYI, for those of you that are like, well, that's just like your experience. People overhyped it. Depending upon which version you look at, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has an 87% rating, or the 15th anniversary has a 100% rating. So, it's not just the people we've run into that are like, Donnie Darko is the best. A lot of people think that. Yeah. Too many. Some of you, perhaps.
Talking to you, Steve.
Fucking dick.
Yeah, it feels so just kind of...
It's up its own asshole.
It's up its own asshole. It's clearly trying to be fucking artsy and avant-garde, and fuck you. Like, that clearly was a priority over coherent screenwriting.
Yeah. If you had a story in there that made sense or did something, I'm here for it. But you really are just like being...
But like, you plot... You literally just have Donnie Darko sleepwalk to find the rabbit. Really? We have him stumble into success? Like, what?
He's a late 90s teen version of Indiana Jones. Just doesn't affect the plot, falls bass backwards into doing the right thing, and the movie ends.
Yeah.
Good job.
At least Indiana
you white American male.
At least Indiana Jones is fun to watch.
He's got a whip.
He does have a whip. He does punch some Nazis. All right, let's move along.
Moving on to something that doesn't matter. Reality TV. It's actually not that bad. There's a time, there's a place for it, but I, like many kind of uppity assholes who probably still think this way, is like, ugh, it's a film crime. It's a crime against celluloid, man. Like, no, it's not. It's for people that worked a long day around shitty people, and they want a moment of catharsis where they watch even shittier people be shitty and occasionally get punished for it. Or you get to laugh and throw popcorn. Or just feel better about yourself, that your life isn't that bad, or you're not that much of a piece of shit. Is it morally questionable? Sure, but what else on TV isn't? It's fine. It's the butter popcorn equivalent of a TV show. It has no substance. You feel good for a little bit, and then you move on with your life and you forgot you enjoyed it. Next!
I'm trying to think if I want to punch a hole in that, but your answer is too self-aware for me to really fight it.
Yeah. It's like people that knowingly, like, imbibe in, alcohol. They're like, is this good for me? No. Did I have a long day at work and I need to, feel a little numb?
Yeah, like,
yes.
Do I want a beer and a cigarette after a long day at a factory? Sure. It's good for you? No. But you know that because you can read packaging. All right. Fair enough.
Yep.
All right.
things that aren't good for you.
I was like ready to fight that one too, and just like I was like, you know what? Nah, I really like. I just look like an asshole if I try to push that.
Woo! Scoreboard.
All right. I'm gonna dunk on one of the big shonen of all time, Naruto.
Not my boy.
Homeboy. It's time to stop. Like,
believe it.
You okay? Easy there, fucking American man. My problem with the show is that it goes crazy. Like, I love a good power fantasy. I love watching shit go crazy. I love seeing buildings explode and crazy powers going absolutely fucking haywire with tits and ass jiggling all over the place. I'm here for it. But at a certain point, it just gets cartoonish.
An anime getting cartoonish?
Like it's just like, okay, I guess we can just blow up planets now. Like, when you, I mean, comics are guilty of this too. Most comics in general are guilty of this, but I feel like Naruto just fucking went, it just sent it. Like,
it went to the 9th Sharingan.
Oh yeah, it just to the moon. Like,
literally, actually.
Literally, like, it doesn't know where to fucking stop. When you're literally fighting the creator, when you're literally you're putting the world to sleep so they can die peacefully, essentially. Like, Jesus Christ, like, it's too much at a certain point. Like, it becomes so mind-boggling that it's hard for you to ever feel like there's a threat to people. It's hard to ever, like, and it means it has to end. So Boruto is just fucked. Like,
the best part is that, so as Mike Oz is alluding, the show ends with them, the two besties that aren't besties but are besties, fighting effectively God, destroying her, and then fighting each other because that just had to happen at that point. Which, hilarious amount of who gives a shit. We just beat God. There's no way you kill each other or this fight matters ever.
Yeah.
And then there's effectively another season, because there's Boruto, where you have these adult characters who, again, beat God fighting people like they're ever gonna fucking lose.
Yeah, like, what Muppet is like, hey, I can take him.
Got this.
Yeah, like,
your dad is a bitch.
Yeah, okay. Like, what? Just, I don't know. I'm a firm believer in power caps or having workarounds to circumvent absolute insanity with power scaling.
Yeah, have rock paper scissors.
Yeah, like, have ways or clever workarounds or something that isn't just brute force to the max, which Naruto just said. And just explosions. Just throw explosions, energy balls at it. We can make it work.
It learned all it knew from DBZ.
Exactly.
All right. Something that Naruto should have learned is limits. And it shouldn't have been limitless.
Nobody likes you.
Okay. So, the next show that I have on the fucking block is Limitless, with the beautiful, gorgeous, I want to have his babies, Bradley Cooper.
Oh, no.
This movie is so fucking bad, and it doesn't make any sense. It had the money, it had the source material, it had Robert De Niro, it had it all. So, for those of you that thankfully skipped out, Limitless is a show where there is this ultra drug. You can take it, and then you become... It, like, multiplies your skill in every direction by, like, 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's a writer. He writes a best-selling novel over, like, 2 days or some shit. He's able to watch a Bruce Lee movie while stoned and then get in an altercation in a parking lot and enact the Bruce Lee moves perfectly. Which, that's not how muscle works, but we're going to move beyond that.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's not that... No.
Yes.
Anyway.
No. So these drugs have either, I can't remember if it's a cost or a drawback to like repeated use, and they
Sure.
have like terrible withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
All these are problems, and ones the main character is going to have to deal with. It comes to a climax on this scene where he ends up having to kill a guy who is ingested the drug to drink his blood to get some of the drug. Also, not how, science works, but that's cool and metal. The way the movie ends, spoiler alert, I'm not sorry, is that Robert De Niro's character is the senator, or is not a senator. He's gonna become. He's like some mogul guy. I'm just remembering, and he like threatens to out Bradley Cooper unless Bradley Cooper helps him. And Bradley Cooper's running for Senate. There it is at the end of the movie, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take away your supply of this drug that's made you like kind of like a super guy." And you're like, "Oh shit, how is he gonna deal with this? What's the next movie gonna be about? What's the following scene?" And Bradley Cooper goes, "Oh, I knew you were gonna do that, so I weaned myself off of it." The end. What? The character literally has like, I've seen Deus Ex Machinas before, but I've never seen like reverse, like paying the costs of doing something to be the boss things before. Jesus Christ. It's so bad. Like, your character does something that should have consequences from a literal method and a storytelling method, doesn't ever have to pay them, and gets everything he wants. This is a porno. That's all this is. It's somebody getting all they want for the whole entire time, showing you their dick, and then being like, "Good night, folks," and coming on your face. It's so fucking stupid from his storytelling method. I just can't. Fuck you, Bradley Cooper. I still want to have your kids.
It's a porn.
That literally dawned on me in the middle of my rant.
They got me. All right.
Things that you wish were a porno for 500, Alex.
Not answering that. But I am going to talk about Batman.
Sounds like you answered that.
Motherfucker. All right. So, I like Batman. I really do.
He's a friend. We go out and play golf.
Yeah, as much as people dunk on him for being like he's not a superhero. He just has money. It's like, well, yes, and
have you tried having money? It's basically having money.
It's the tits. It's just pure fucking gas.
It's also really hard. You do have to basically win the metaphorical or literal lottery.
Yeah. But beyond just being rich, Batman in the comics is incredibly smart. Like, there's a reason he can fucking pal around.
Win the spelling bee, Scripps spelling bee 2 times.
Oh.
Smart.
Like, there's a reason he could fucking, like, keep up with Superman and Wonder Woman, people who can, like, literally shape the fucking planet if they want to. Like, there's a reason he can fucking hang with them, and it's because he's that smart. Like, it's not that he can buy powers better than theirs, because he fucking can't. But he can just be more intelligent than they are and problem solve better than they can. Like, and just be like, he's lauded in the comics as the best detective, and like pretty much every fucking movie interpretation of him sucks ass at that. The one exception is kind of the the Robert Pattinson one.
The new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was like
the Batman?
Yeah, the Batman. It was okay at showing him as like a bit of a detective. Not perfect, but good. Like, it actually put an emphasis on him like solving crimes and like reading patterns and like kind of looking in the tea leaves, essentially, right? But like, as much as I love The Dark Knight, that they like gloss over that. As much as I love the Christian Bale movies, because like, I do love him sounding like a fucking pit bull.
Where is she?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they did a piss poor job showing him being a detective.
Well, I mean, he does beat the shit out of a suspect. Oh, wait, that's not what you meant.
That's being a police officer, not a detective.
Oh, apologies.
And like, that's such a huge integral part of his character that just everybody fucking misses. It's like he's not so super because he has a suit and because he's a car. That helps him deal with people. But the reason he like the fucking Martian Manhunter even bothers listening to him is because he's that smart.
Damn.
Boom. Mic drop. All right.
Well, excuse me while I pick up this mic and yell at another franchise. Oh, no, wait, no, they're not both owned by Disney. This one is, though. Fuck you, Mr. Mouse. The Mandalorian. It sucks. Fuck that show. Fuck all the hype built around it. Fuck them for making me be excited about it. Fuck them for making effectively piggybacking off that show and making a Boba Fett show that really sucked. Just, they had the opportunity to really dial up the adult aspect of a Star Wars universe. Thankfully, Andor came along later and showed them how it was done. But The Mandalorian was so like, oh shit, it's about a bounty hunter. He doesn't give a fuck. And then this kid comes along and changes him. To be fair, from the start, this guy gives a fuck. This guy does have a, colored, like covered up chromium heart, but it is still a heart. And it gets softer, but like,
sure.
It's a cartoon. It's a Saturday morning cartoon show with the money, budget, and writing to be better, and it lived up to none of those potentials. Is the show bad? Probably not as bad as I'm saying it is. Could it have been infinitely better? Easily. Everything is copy, cut, pasted out of G to PG rated Saturday morning cartoons. Everybody that fucks with Star Wars is at this point that audience when they were kids and they are now adults. They are all, 90s, early 2000s kids who are all in the 20s drinking beer, buying merch. Are their kids watching it too? Of course. They've got nothing else to do is share time with them. They don't know how to talk to people. They're nerds. You can make this an adult show just for the parents. That's fine. Do it like, what was it, the Rebel Squadron or whatever like that from like Clone Wars. That shit got like hella metal. I'm trying to remember, what was that show? Spacing. The one with about the like stormtroopers that like have a conscience or a brain.
I think it is Rebel Squadron.
Is it Rebel Squadron? Okay, that show. Sorry for those of you that are fans of it. I've heard great things. Haven't had time to check it out. I've seen bits of it. Holy shit. That show knows how to be metal. It knows how to push. This is about a bounty hunter. This person has been killing and bringing in bodies for cash his whole life. Come on, I want some of that. Every time it's like, I gotta go save a village. I gotta go do this. It's a Western with a G-rated rating. That's all it is. He's like, he can't actually kill them. He can't stab somebody with a knife. Sylvester Stallone style, all a Rambo. No, he's gotta, Wilhelm scream, shoot them off screen, push them off a cliff. Then we don't see the body. Like, just grow up a little bit, Disney. We like blood. We like guts.
It was not Rebel Squadron. I don't know what it was.
More at 11.
Okay. It may have been Clone Wars. Clone Wars did actually fucking slap, for the record.
It's an offshoot of Clone Wars.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. The fans know what we're talking about. If not, look for a thing about stormtroopers that wake up and have to like throw down about what they're about. It's like Order 66 or some shit. That's not right. That's like kills them. Which whatever. On to the next one.
All right, this is probably the most lukewarm take on this list. Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's the best cartoon ever made. Yep. That's. Yep. I don't feel I need to add more to that. Like, I love me a good cartoon. I love me a good cartoon with contiguous story. I love me even just isolated event cartoons. Like, I'm a big sucker for Gravity Falls. I have watched any number of permutations of Batman cartoons. Batman Beyond, probably the best of them. That isn't the OG Batman.
I was gonna say, fucking.
Hank, calm down. I respect the shit out of Kevin Conroy. And Mark Hamill.
Goats.
So, but Batman Beyond, I think, is arguably a better show, or maybe had a better styling.
I'm gonna have to.
Batman Beyond is way better than you remember. Anyways,
That's a hotter take than what you're saying right now.
It is. But I think I do not think any of those shows are better than Avatar. I think The Last Airbender is one of the most perfect shows I've watched. I think it's great. I think it is terrific character development, good story, great climax. It wraps up loose threads. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just fucking great.
Has the balls to kill characters.
Yeah, it occasionally fucking kills a guy, which when you consider it's very much a cartoon geared for kids. It was on
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. Like, they just straight up kill a couple people that you're kind of invested in.
Yeah.
Like,
you would have liked to see those people retire.
Like, goddamn. Like, and they do it, like, in a good, subtle way, too. Like, the Jet one especially.
Yeah, the Jet one is just like...
Just
if
Toph's
you see
comment.
it, you see it. Yeah.
He's lying. It's like...
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit. Like... Yeah. Best cartoon ever made. I don't think you're going to get a better one in this lifetime.
Something that's not quite that good, or brings about such aggressive animated Batman comments, is the movie, the live-action Watchmen film. Is the movie perfect? God, no. Is it even good? Is it bad? Fuck no. This movie's fun as shit. It took in Hollywooded up the original Watchmen, which was a bit pretentious and, like, big-headed for its own britches. Which, I mean, Alan Moore, not surprising.
Yeah, it tracks.
You know, does it have some interesting musical choices that are a little bit potentially vanilla? Sure.
But it has some baller muse cut in with it.
It does have baller muse cut in with it. It does have just great cinematography. It's very it gives off the vibe of a comic. It hits hard. It's got a great opening, a great ending. I wouldn't say the ending, but the thing like 5 seconds before. It hits heavy, it hits hard. It very much is a good representation of a comic book. And it definitely like deserves to be more appreciated along the same wavelength as Sin City than hated along the same wavelength as Superman v Batman.
Yeah.
Also, the thing that Eli and I were talking about, or I guess I was talking about, and Eli tried to salvage, is Star Wars The Bad Batch.
Okay.
And my yammering about The Mandalorian, I got lost. Yeah, Star Wars The Bad Batch and Clone Wars. You can make those animated, but you can't make live action with blood. Okay. But the second season is... I'm not going to watch a whole entire season and get to the second season. You fucking started off too slow, bitch. I'm out.
You gotta get me invested by episode 3. It's usually what I give you.
Yeah, I think I got through episode 5 or 6, and it was still just like, ugh.
Yeah, that is my take on every person who like sells me a show. I'm like, you get 3 episodes. That is all the professional courtesy I'm willing to give it, because I have so much other shit I'd rather watch or play. Like, if you gotta get to me.
I got shit to do.
Yeah, like I can't wait for season 3 for you to pick up. Fuck off. I'll go watch something that starts strong. Like, there's options.
And just like you have an option to listen to this ad break or go take a poop. Either way, we'll be right back after this loop.
Listen to this ad break? I'm Ron Burgundy?
Yeah. I said it.
God damn it, who put a question mark in the teleprompter? Have you ever wanted to feel some mainstream appeal as a nerd? Have you wanted to indulge in a little bit of power fantasy? Do you love when the good guy wins in the end, and most things wrap up with a nice little bow on top? Might I interest you in some comic book movies? With them tasty comic book movies, you get the first grade moral lessons with explosions and punches, punctuation to emphasize. Add in some clear expectations of who's your villain versus who is our hero, and you found yourself a winning formula that will undoubtedly appeal to the masses. So what are you waiting for? Go embark on that hero's journey to get the MacGuffin. It's coming to a theater near you this summer.
Hey! You made it back from the pooping. I mean, listening to the ad. Thank you.
Good job pooping.
Good poopies! saying of things that aren't shit, what'd you watch recently there?
All right, I went in a little dubious of this show.
The show
I'm
being
fucking here for it. This show is called Zom 100: A Bucket List for the Dead. So the show is about, and it starts with this guy, this idealistic kid out of college. He's going to a production company. It is a nightmare job. It is a horrible, exploitative company. It's just working people to death. And so you watch him at this fucking like position for years, and you just watch his life turn to shit. Because he's miserable, but he can't leave. And then a fucking zombie apocalypse happens.
just to spice things up.
Here's the great part about this show. His first thought in epiphany is, oh my god, I don't have to go to the office. And
how you know your job sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And so it becomes the show where it's about, he realizes he's lost all this time working at this shithole, and he wants to do shit for him. Now, there's no excuse to not just go fucking carpe diem, seize the day, go fucking ape shit, because you could die at any point.
Yeah, this is like, I just realizing this is the the zombie apocalypse is what every inspirational talk guru guy has been selling you your whole entire life.
Yeah, like,
just treat every day like it's your last, because it might. It's like, oh no, that's what the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, so
live that.
And so he takes this remarkably positive spin on, instead of just surviving, he just says, "Fuck it, I've just got shit I want to do before I'm turned into a zombie." And so he just fucking lives it up and tries to live his best life now that he's not stuck in some godforsaken fucking company. It has the show itself. It's just entertaining as fuck, and it's got pretty good humor.
Nice.
Which I'm
good start.
Big fan. Like he puts on his ideas. He puts on a shark suit, which is like, it is the thing that like divers use because it's made of this really tough material that sharks can't bite through. But he still gets bitten, and it's still a bite. And I don't know if you know how hard people can bite, but it fucking hurts.
Sure.
And so he just runs out to like stop a zombie that it bites, but he just starts screaming. He's like, "Oh God, it still hurts!" It's like he expects to be fucking bulletproof. So like, but it has a great sense of style and some fucking wild use of colors. It's just it's a fucking treat. Like, if you have a job that you hate, or you've just like ever dreaded going into the office because it's shit, this show will fucking sing. It will just sing to you. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
I kind of like, this is kind of giving me certain vibes, the way you're describing it, as Chainsaw Man did, and the idea of like
very different.
No, not the creative vibes. Like, Chainsaw Man starts off with a character, like, his impetus is, I want to touch tits, then I want to get laid, then, like, he's a boy.
Yeah.
And it very much embraces, it doesn't judge that character, it embraces that character at where he's at, and kind of builds a story around him.
Kind of.
And this character is literally like, I hate my job. They're taking a hyper-real human sentiment, and just not judging it, and being around it.
Yeah.
And I like that, as opposed to being like, the world's ending. Think about, like, because the idea, apparently, according to smarter people than us, of like Evangelion is about like prepubescence or whatever, or not prepubescence,
like adolescence,
like going through those bodily changes, and this idea that it feels like your world's being destroyed, and blah blah blah. I think that's fucking stupid for a couple different reasons, but especially that it doesn't really make you feel that, and if you're a boy going through those adolescent changes, you're not going to, one, understand that or recognize that in that film, and then, like, that's not giving representation or appreciation to the circumstance. Where Chainsaw Man's like, yeah, like, guys just want to, like, touch
man just wants to touch some titties.
Yeah, like, that's, and not, like, it's funny, but you're not, like, looking down on the main character. Like mixing those, it's brilliant. It's very beautiful in my opinion. And same with
you'll appreciate then the primary driving plot of the second episode. The man wants to go on a beer run.
Hell yeah!
He wants to just sit around his apartment all day and drink beer.
I'm gonna go on a beer run right now. I'll be right back.
Man actually got the fuck up. Is he actually getting a fucking beer?
All right, I got my beer. Tell me more.
I heard the fridge door. It's like there's no fucking way. It's like man just like he's out of beer, so he has to go get more. So he has to brave the fucking zombies to go get a bunch of beer.
Hold on, let me know if you can hear this.
Oh yes, some fucking beer bottle ASMR right there.
All right, so he runs out and gets beer. I'm here for that. Tell me more about the show. I've got my beer. I'm ready.
It's great. It's fucking if you watch the first episode and you like it, stick with it. It's just fucking fun. It's just fun. It's a bit fucking wacky and goofy. It has some surprisingly heavy moments because a lot of dead people and shit. Like it does occasionally embrace that and like kind of nod to it.
I love that anime can do that. Just random aside.
Yeah, like so
it's such a hard thing for like other shows to do.
Yeah, well, like it's just good. Like I mean, I think there's like 6 episodes out. I've seen 5 of them.
There's 5. You've seen all 5.
Okay.
I'm not looking at watching the show right after we stop airing this episode. Stop recording this episode.
Yeah. Enjoy. It's not a lot to catch up on. It's a good fucking time. What would you recommend to the people?
Well, I'm a little bit better than you. Mine's not of timely importance. I'm just kidding.
What are you stunting? Who are you stunting for?
I don't exactly know or how. So I'm going a little bit older, a little more of a classic. And as we know from earlier, I don't use that word lightly.
You don't.
Fucking Galaxy Quest, baby.
That movie has, the older I get, the more I appreciate it.
Dude, the cast busted.
Bonkers.
It's just bangers all the way down. You've got Tim Allen. You've got Tony Shalhoub. You've got Alan Rickman. You've got
Sigourney Weaver, right?
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
You've got the guy that was the Apple dude, whose name I can't remember. Like, Justin Long. You've got.
You said Tony Shalhoub, right?
I said Tony Shalhoub. Okay. Jeff something, right? Or
who? I don't remember who the pilot is.
The pilot was somebody I didn't remember, but I'm talking about the extra that gets on board.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm really sorry. I love him a lot.
What's my name? The guy. You don't know.
Yeah, the guy that plays Guy. You don't know. Hey, give me a name. Oh,
maybe
banger.
you like the plucky comic relief.
Yeah, best line ever is minors, not minors.
Minors, not minors.
Top that. So bad.
I don't know. The underhanded, like, are you stoned? Is pretty good. The ship's falling apart, so you know.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's like such a banger. All right, any games you've been playing lately? Like to sing their praises.
Yeah, I've been sucked back into the void that is Path of Exile.
Right when I get out,
they pulled me back in. Path of Exile is like someone looked at Diablo 2 and went, "Let's make this for fucking math junkies."
You said math or meth?
I said math.
Meth
might help. It's this incredible. I'm just going to preface this with the passive tree is 1,500 nodes. My wife looked at it and went, What the fuck is wrong with you?
You practicing for your chemistry final? Like, what is this?
It is a game that it rewards information, and because it's so complicated, it has so much build diversity. There's basically no archetype you can't do. There are so many permutations of any build you can play. I like here the easy example I heard and I thought was so perfect. Basic kind of build in any fucking ARPG is, depending what you're gonna call it, either Cyclone or Whirlwind. You spin around and you chop things up with your weapons, right?
Yeah.
So you can do that. Very basic. Very basic. You just take a weapon, you deal a bunch of physical damage, you spin around, you chop them to bits. Fine. Or we can take that, we can convert all our damage into an element. Okay. You can do some lightning or fire or whatever. Okay. Or we can make it into a poison build, so we deal almost no damage up front, but you put a huge debuff on things that stacks up over time. Or we can use this as a trigger to cast a bunch of fucking spells like an absolute fucking lunatic as we spin through and ice bolts and fucking frost novas blast out from our ass. Or I could keep going. There's so many options. And all of those that I just listed, all still using the same base skill of Cyclone. The game has so many fucking options. It has so many ways to optimize, to min-max, and to specialize your character. If you're into ARPGs, you can lose a lot of time. Like, it's very fun. It has a very good sense of player progression. It has a very good sense of growth. It has a very good sense of accomplishment to it as well. It knows how to drip feed that dopamine. It's real good at it. It's a bit of a bitch to get into. I enjoy the shit out of it.
Nice.
What about you? Have anything else supplementary you would recommend for people? Any
Dude,
music and games?
I'm going to include two, honestly. I was just going to do one, but I'm going to do two. My first song is Can't Be Mine by Bad Nerves.
Okay.
It's so skater from the 90s vibes. It's so fucking great. It's like, I got $3. We're going to get some fucking chicken nuggies. Fuck my mom. Let's go fucking ruin a guardrail on the, 105. Like, it's got just those vibes to it. I fucking love it. That wasn't specific enough for you, Ted. I don't know what will be. The other one is Carousel by Best Friends and Joywave from one of the most. The rest of the album is fine. I respect the creativity to it. The album's called The Mall, and all the song titles and like tracks are about the mall experience. It's kind of awesome to do a whole entire album that way. I respect it. The rest of the songs are not nearly as good as the Carousel. The Carousel fucking bangs. Literally have not been able to get enough of those two songs. I've been like looping them for days. So fucking good.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think I can top that.
I don't think you can either. And so I guess that's going to be our episode. So thank everyone for tuning in. And if you enjoyed, please feel free to
Like,
comment,
sure,
and subscribe.
but don't forget, new episodes of Super Pros Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye.